What is up, YouTube? It's Bus in here coming at you with some crazy shenanigans. I think I went a little bit overkill this past weekend. I've ended up properly getting into the Dragonball Super CCG, TCG, whatever, however it's called. We're gonna be crack opening the set 3 starter deck with Bardock, uh, Dark Invasion, starter deck with obviously Masked Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. But before we get into that, I actually want to show off the absolute craziness that I've gotten into last week. Um, Picked up a few of these. It's like an expansion set thing. You get a deck box, and you get 2 copies of each of these cards. One of them is this sort of crystal foil stuff. But this, I only picked this up because I was picking this one up, and I thought that, well, if I pick this one up, I need to pick this one up as well. And I was thinking like, hey, if I pick this up, because I actually want like the trunks from here, trunks Time Patrol trunks. I thought, well, all right, let's pick another one up. So I ended up picking up 3 of these. Well, I mean 2 of these and 1 of that. This is only the beginning. Obviously, I've shown off. I've picked up the Masked Saiyan starter for set 3. And I was thinking like, oh well, you know, that Masked Saiyan stuff is looking pretty neat. I mean, it's trending on YouTube. On the release, it obviously won some tournaments, and I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, well, let's get this as well. Increased Evil Masked Saiyan looks pretty sweet, so I thought to myself, I need to pick it up. It gives me 4 boosters of set 3. It's obviously, all this stuff is like pretty seriously difficult to come by if you live in the United Kingdom, by the way, I must point out. Or at least it was last week, until I realized that actually it isn't. So pretty much most of this stuff actually came over from the States. But anyway, I'm digressing. So I thought, all right, Masked Saiyan looks pretty sweet. So I thought, okay, let's pick this up. Why don't I pick 2 of these bad boys up? So I ended up picking 2 of these bad boys up. And then I was sifting through, obviously, on the usual channels where you would be buying these from. And I was thinking to myself, well, I'm going to get like 4 boosters. Is that enough? How am I going to get into this game? I want some super rare. So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get a booster box as well. So I got a booster box of set 3. Which I think once I unbox it, I'm gonna unbox it with you guys. This should be the first, set 3 booster box release from the UK, if I'm right. Looking at YouTube current state, but then again, I might post this video and somebody might beat me to it. Hopefully not. So we got a booster box. We got 2 Crossworlds special box. We got a Crossworlds starter. And we got 3 boxes of these. But still, this isn't all. Oh crap. Crazy, crazy. I also picked up some singles. So I fancied 4 copies of the Awakened Warrior Bardock. It's an uncommon in set 3, but you never get a guaranteed foil in a booster pack, so I thought, well, you know what? This card looks sweet. I want it in my deck. Let's get 4 foils. I was also looking at some of the super rares, and I was like, okay, well, you know, if I'm getting a Bardock starter, let's get the badass super rare Super Saiyan 3 Bardock as well, Power Unleashed. Pretty sweet card. You can Xeno evolve it. It's got triple strike, and it's a pretty good sweeper as well. So got 3 of those, and then I was like, well, you know, at this point in time, I'm pretty much just black, and it's not gonna be enough to run the deck. So let's get some more red cards to make a red-black deck. And so obviously, Destructive Terror Champa, set 1, super rare, very sweet card, 3 copies. And I also fancied me some Jiren, Fist of Justice, which is pretty difficult to come by, but I managed to. So there you go, a few super rares, couple of uncommon foils picked up there as well. But anyway, without any further ado, because I have been babbling on for quite some time, let's crack open this starter set. So, what do we have here? Dark Invasion. This set includes 5 starter deck exclusive cards. That's exactly what we are looking for. Really handy with these, and I think we should have this in Magic the Gathering as well. You actually get a card list of the content. You get the card list, you get the content, so you can immediately turn this box around and see what you are getting, instead of having to Google it, instead of having to read up on it, which used to be the case for a very, very long time with most Magic starter decks or Commander pre-constructed decks or anything like that. And it does explain as well that it consists of 50 cards and 1 leader. You can play the game with this product, which is really cool. If you compare this with the Crossworlds, for example, it also gives you the contents. So you're still gonna get the game mat. You're gonna get 4 booster packs, and you're gonna get the 1 limited promo card. And it also tells you that, hey, by the way, if you buy this box, you will not be able to play the game with it. Go ahead and buy the starter box. And I really, really like that. I really appreciate that. They're not selling you duds. They're not selling you anything like that. So let's see what's in this bad boy. With set 3, they really hit the nail, I think. I must say, more increasingly, I am falling in love with this game. Bandai has really nailed their comeback to, printing more Dragon Ball cards. It's not to say that my love has decreased for the old school CCG, which I love so much. You're still gonna see more deck decks and stuff, but this is burning stuff now. I need to open it. I need to get these cards to my collection. So, as you would expect, there you go. The box is empty. Nothing else is in there. Put it on the side. You got your manual. This is now version 1.2, so they're refining the stuff, which is always good. You get your game mat. We don't care about that. And you get your deck inside this plastic casing, wrapped up nicely, neatly, ready for you to crack it open. And immediately, our eyes are drawn to the one, the only, Bardock, Unbound by Darkness. So what Bandai has done, they went to their latest Dragon Ball games, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and if you have a look there at the bottom at the description, it says Bardock Xeno, Saiyan, Dark Demon Realms Saga. So really sweet. It tells you exactly where it's from, and it allows you. It brings in a new mechanic. It allows you some of the cards you can Xeno evolve, which I might expand on a little bit more on later. But let's crack this bad boy open. I deliberately not read exactly what the content is, but I do know some of the cards that should be coming with this starter deck. And this is actually on its own a very powerful starter deck. So, you don't get a packet of useless cards, which some other card games tend to do. Hashtag Magic the Gathering. So there you go, you get Bardock, Unbound by Darkness. This is your leader card. This is its leader front, the Masked Saiyan, the infamous Masked Saiyan. Many people run this leader. It's just really good. It's a very good leader. It sort of replaces the set 1 Vegeta. A lot of people have some level of fondness for Bardock. They are, not Bandai, Toei Animation. They're increasingly trying to push Bardock, as Goku's father. Obviously, he's Goku's father. He probably, they may have missed a slight opportunity in Dragon Ball Z to put a bit more story behind Bardock. So they are, working around that. So we got 2 Killer Sword Trunks. Very sweet card. One of them you get in foil, the other one you get in normal printing. So this guy gives you the chance to Xeno evolve. So if you have 4, sorry, you gotta have 4 cards in your warp. You play this card in active mode by sending the specified card from your battle area to your warp. Oh yeah, so you gotta pay 4, and you have to send a Xeno Trunks from your battle area to the warp to be able to evolve into Killer Sword Trunks, which is really cool. It's got double strike, and also when a card evolves into this card, choose up to 1 battle card in your warp with energy cost of 3 or less and play it. So it combos really well with the Masked Saiyan leader card. And just generally, this card looks pretty awesome, if you ask me. I got 1, 2 Quick Blade Trunks, 3 Quick Blade Trunks, 4 Quick Blade Trunks. Quick Blade Trunks, there you go. It's got Overrealm 2, so you can play it if you have at least 2 cards in your drop area. If you send all the cards in your drop area into your warp, you get to basically play Quick Blade Trunks for that turn. So you can basically drop Quick Blade Trunks in your first turn, pretty much, if you run a Masked Saiyan. Cool little combo there. Then we got 2 copies of Encroaching Threat Masked Saiyan. There you go. Permanent, this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. Normally you would be able to only attack cards that have been exhausted. And also permanent, when you've sent 7 or more cards to your warp, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand and warp by 1. Sweet. Another starter deck exclusive. And then we got Power Aura Mira. He's one of the villains from Dragon Ball Xenoverse. He's got Overrealm 3. And permanent, when you have 3 or more cards in your warp, this card gains plus 5,000 power. If you have 5 or more cards in your warp, this card gains an additional plus 5,000 power. That's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. I love when these cards actually pump, themselves. Then we got 2 copies. So these were the starter deck exclusives: your Power Aura Mirror, your Encroaching Threat Masked Saiyan, your Quick Blade Trunks, and your Killer Sword Trunks, and of course also the Masked Saiyan, which is the leader. So this stuff is from the first set, Son Gohan Family of Justice. Been around for some time. It's an alright little blocker card, so it can be used in some situations. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Energy Power Gotenks. Another 3-drop auto skill. When this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. So it makes your opponent discard when you attack the leader with Energy Power Gotenks. Then we got 2 copies of Bundle of Curiosity Goku. There you go. Auto, when you play this card, draw a card. So doesn't really do much. Obviously it replaces itself, so if nothing else, at least it's a good cantrip. This is a set 2 card, by the way. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 vanilla Vegetas. Just a straight up 15k for 1 green and 1 any color, and you can combo for 5,000 for free. Nothing very exciting. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Pressure Assault Super Saiyan Goku. There you go. It's got dual attack, so when this card attacks, switch it back to active mode after the battle. Sweet. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO that card. So it's pretty good. Another removal. It removes anything, which is really cool, actually. So obviously the thing is with these black cards that we got as starter deck exclusives, you can pretty much put them in any deck because they haven't got any color requirements. If you look at their mana cost, there are no specific dots around the circle. As you can see, Goku, for example, you have to tap 3 green and 2, any cost chi or whatever you call it, energy. Whereas the black cards, you can basically just put them into any deck, so it gives you a lot of flexibility. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Unyielding Justice Trunks Super Saiyan 2. There you go. This got Evolve for 3 from Future Trunks. It's a blocker and it's got Barrier. This card can be chosen by the skill of your opponent's cards. So it's a blocker and it's got hexproof to you guys who are more familiar with Magic terms, and it's got an auto skill, so whenever a card evolves into this card, draw 1 card. Sweet. Again, another cantrip, it can evolve. Pretty sweet card. It's an uncommon from set 3. I like this Unyielding Justice Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. It's a neat little card. So, as another Trunks from set 3. What is this? Trunks, Bridge to the Future. 1 drop. Green auto. When you play this card, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Saiyan among them and add it to your hand, then place the rest of the cards in the drop area. So fairly typical turn 1 sort of search card, but you only look at the top 2 cards of your deck, which is not maybe as good as maybe Manipulating God Champa that allows you to look at the top 7 cards, but then again, this can get you any Saiyan. Whereas most of the cards that make you look at the top 7 cards, they are looking for a specific card like Goku or Champa or whatever. Then we got 2 Unrelenting Assault Trunks. Another sweet card. This is also from set 3, over round 3. And auto, when this card is sent to the warp from your battle area or deck, add it to your hand. So if you mill it with your Masked Saiyan, get it back into your hand. Pretty good. And if it's removed, you can get it back. This is another black one, so obviously we're getting into some of the black cards we get. This is an interesting one. Supreme Kai of Time, World's Protector. This is one of the new super combo cards. You can only include up to 4 cards with super combo in your deck, and this is the one you get for black. When you combo with this card, if there are 5 or more cards in your warp, draw 1 card, and this card gains plus 10,000 combo power for the duration of the turn. Now, what's cool about this is that normally, if you play it, you can combo for 0 with it, but actually, if you fulfill the auto, so if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, for free you get to draw a card and it gives you an additional 10,000 to combo with. So obviously it's somewhat underrated compared to other colors is super combo cards, but I still think it's pretty decent and you can use it, especially for a starter deck to get so powerful cards. I mean, not many other card games do anything similar to this. Alright, another 1 drop, and I think this is our last character card as well. So Space Time Unleashed, turn 1 drop, 5,000 power. When you play this card, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Mira or Masked Saiyan from among them and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So there you go. This is actually really good. If you think about it, it lets you look at the top 7 cards, and it's allowing you to look for 2 different characters, not just the one, which is a pretty good example in what I was saying about the Trunks, that it only allows you to look at the top 2 cards, but you still get to pick any Saiyan, which is obviously, I think it's a somewhat big deal. Right, so we got a couple of extra cards here. Dark Plot. You can activate it in your main phase, choose up to 1 battle card in your warp with an energy cost of 4 or less and play it. If you use this skill to play a battle card with Overwhelm, choose up to 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode. So it's pretty sweet, actually. Pretty sweet. And then last but not least, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the black counter times Judgment. Negate the attack, then you may place 2 cards from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, add this card back to your hand. This is just the type of card that I absolutely love. When you can recur it back into your hand, it very much reminds me of Arm Stretch, for example, in Dragonball CCG. So, alright. Think this starter deck is really, really cool, to be fair. You know, some of the cards are like really, really powerful that you get with this. And I mean, come on, the leader. Just look at the leader card. It's just pretty sweet. And the foiling techniques these guys are using is also quite impressive. I really, really like how these cards look when you get the full foil. So yeah, this is it. Peace out, YouTube. I mean, obviously, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave any comments. I'll be on my best abilities to answer any of your questions. And please make sure that you join me for my next video as well. I'm hoping for another one to come out this weekend, so peace out.